Have you ever woken up and get your day started and you just can't because it feels like something's off? You're not broken, you're not in a dark place, you're just off and you can't put your thumb on it. That's what this video is about. My journey of waking up and being off and what I've discovered to get me back on track. Hey, I'm Cindy and this is 16 Storied and thank you for being here. Have you ever woken up with that emotion? I mean, it's not even an emotion. You're just empty. You don't know even know who you are. If that's the case, then I am here for you today to share with you my story about how this happened to me. I just woke up one day and I was just off. And it lasted for 10 days before I decided I need to do something. And the something are 3 steps I'm going to share with you to help walk us back to clarity. And the fourth step, you're going to be absolutely amazed. So stay right here. So after 10 days of just wandering with no emotion, I mean, I just felt empty. Nothing interested me. I wasn't excited about anything. And it got to the point where I wasn't even wondering when I woke up, is today the day I'm going to return to who I was? It was as if that person stepped out of my life and I decided today is the day I'm going to reclaim my life. And this is exactly what I did. So, what I decided to do was leave ordinary. Our ordinary is our homes. It's our place of comfort, but it's also where we do all of our looping. And as solo women, especially over 60, it's all on us. Every burden is on us. There's no one to pick up the pieces or someone that's got your back while you're trying to figure stuff out in life. So you just sit in your comforted place, look at all these four walls, and you just loop and loop and loop all of your struggles, all of your anxiety, all of your problems. And that's when I said, no more. I am leaving ordinary. So I packed my bag and I hit the road. I'm fortunate enough that I still have my mom at 92, and that's where I headed because that's one place I can go and just decompress. And that's exactly what I did. I hit the road. I drove 3 hours. I got there and we had a fabulous time. And not once did I think of these walls. I thought about her. How can I enjoy her presence? How can she enjoy my presence? I didn't want to bother her or burden her with my problems. So they stayed right here in these four walls. And we had a fabulous time. I took her and her neighbor, who keeps a watchful eye on her, to Downtown Abbey. They had a fabulous time at the movie theater. We came back and I made shortbread. So we had dessert and a lot of funny chatter. We went apple dropping. She's too old to go apple picking. So we went apple dropping. We did a lot of shopping. And most of all, we did a lot of family chatter and a lot of laughing. And I was there for 3 days. And in that 3 days, like I said, I didn't think once about what's happening here. So leave your ordinary. You can take off to, a sibling's home. You can go to a friend's home, an aunt. Um, if you don't have that, an Airbnb possibly. But even if you don't have that, you could just jump in the car and just drive. No destination in mind whatsoever. And because this is what it's about. It's just being free and decompressing and just drive for the day and then just come back and enjoy. Don't have a car? That's not a problem either. Your feet are going to hit the road and you're going to go walking through museums, through the city parks, through the woods, and just spend that time alone decompressing, not thinking about your problems, just taking it all in and decompressing. Um, it truly, truly worked. This first step truly, truly worked. Now, let's get on to step two. So, in step two, as we know, when we go off on wonderful vacations, wonderful weekends, getaways, there's the coming home piece. And so I said my goodbyes to my mom. jumped in the car, and headed home. But not once did I think of what got me to that place. I waited till I was home. And when I got home, I did take a long walk and started thinking, what got me to this place? And I started thinking of, what anxieties do I have? Um, what struggles do I have in trying this pre-retirement planning? What struggles have I given myself in trying to figure out an encore career so I have some income coming in addition to what I already have? Um, and then on top of that, there's these burdens. It could be a health issue, but it could be the loss of someone, right? So this is what happens is it just layers, layers, and layers on top of you. And finally, I figured it out. Our brains just say, pause. It's protecting you. It just can't go any further and can't keep you on this journey. It needed you to step out and take a breath. And that's exactly what I did. I stepped out, I took a breath, and I started looking at all of the things I identified. One of the biggest culprits, and I think we're all very guilty of this, is we put too much on our plate because it's all on us, right? So we just draw this giant picture and we just keep layering and stacking all of this stuff, and it just gets too heavy to carry. And that was the biggest problem. So looking at what I've been through, you know, 66, wake up and say, yeah, I need to retire. I need to figure this out. That's a big plan, and as great as I thought I was at it, I thought I had all my ducks in a row for this pre-retirement planning. It really looked like the dashboard of a Jeep. Because when I stepped back and looked at it, I realized that I painted that picture so enormously big that I couldn't get out from under it. There's no way I was going to accomplish this goal the way that I had set it up. So I think we all do that. We just kind of put way too much weight on our shoulders. And the takeaway from that was I started doing little baby steps, little chunks. And okay, I'm going to do this. When I get that done, I'm going to pick up this. And that in these past 10 days actually has helped enormously by just taking the little chunks, not this enormous picture. But I think that's one of the biggest culprits of all. And I think we all have that anxiety of, am I going to have enough? You want to live comfortably. Um, am I going to have enough to do that? And that anxiety was a little too much to bear. And what I did was I just put everything in fast track, thinking, how can I create an evergreen income? How can I create my encore career? And so what I did was just prioritized what was going to give me the best return. And by doing that, I can slow down and start, working on those smaller pictures, um, and then start doing gig work, start doing evergreen work like YouTube, right? So um, those are all smaller buckets that I can fill up, um, and looking at it that way brought such relief. Another problem is our worries. It could be a health issue, it could be mental health issue. Um, I am not at all happy with my PCP. I'm in environmental health and safety, and the regulations there are enormous. I have not met one person that's a subject matter expert. And that's what being a doctor in primary care is. They have this influx of diseases and conditions that they have to be subject matter experts. Not even possible. But instead of not admitting that, they're just moving on and just keep pushing you forward. Um, as care, when in fact it's not care at all. That could have repercussions. And that's kind of been one of my worries, is this repercussion. So that's been a worry that I've internalized and I'm trying to figure out on my own. And I've gotten some pretty good advice from a specialist on this. So that kind of relieves my mind. So if you've got health issues, and you're really questioning whether you're getting the care that you deserve, um, there's are ways to do it, and I'm going to be doing a video on that. So subscribe so you can catch that when it comes out. Um, But the other piece of worry is mental health, right? So this emotion, whatever this was, feeling off, um, it didn't feel right, right? It didn't sit right. That person that I was, that person you are, suddenly just walked out of your life, and you're like, what the hell? Right? So um, go to a therapist, talk it out. Um, I'm fortunate. I'm still working. That's not being fortunate, but I'm still working. I have an employee assistance plan, so I don't have to. I can use that, tap that resource. I don't have to sit in an office. I don't have to wait for that appointment. It's a virtual setup, and doing this virtually is a fabulous thing. So if you have that opportunity, you can do that. But if you have a close friend that you comfortable with, that's worth the talk. That's worth the talk, just so you can get it off your chest, have someone else hear it, someone that can help walk you through it. It's definitely worth it. If you need help in your with your mental health, by all means, go seek that out. All right, so we woke up wondering who we are, and we left our ordinary and left everything behind in the four walls. In my case, for 3 days. You can do it overnight. You can do it for 3 days. You can do it for a week. And then you have to come back. And in coming back, that's when you start sorting it out. You start internalizing what is going on in your life. What is your anxieties? What are your struggles? What are your challenges? And what are your health issues? And if there's anything else there, you want to make sure you address that as well. Like in my case, we had a loss in the family. It was my ex-husband. We had three daughters together, and they're now grown women. So that was an enormous burden on my psyche. All right. So I had to deal with that as well. So that's what we're doing. We're dealing with all of these burdens that we have. And then we're going to do this final piece that's going to walk us back to clarity. Having gone through those steps, I truly felt like my life no longer felt like that dashboard of a Jeep. And I decided I wanted to take one more step to find my clarity. And what I did was I took a U walk. Yes, a you walk. That is just you, no friends, no dog, just you. Just walking through the woods, walking through the city streets, wherever you have an opportunity to walk. And you're just noticing that sun and how that feels on your skin, on your face, and noticing the leaves blowing. It's just kind of appreciating everything that you've been given. And that's when clarity came in. And this is how I know. Because that night my phone rang. And it was my oldest daughter. And she said, "Hey, we haven't seen you all summer. Um, we want to come over Friday for dinner." Now, remember, I work. I put 60 hours a week of energy into my work week, which is 40 hours long. So by Friday, I am a wet dish rag. And my answer is always no. I want nothing to do with anybody by Friday. I said yes. And I am so thankful that I did. Because by saying yes, I stepped into clarity. And what I came to realize after a fabulous, fabulous dinner, lots of laugh, was I had stepped out of their lives. While they were dealing with their father's affairs, I had removed myself because I didn't know where I fit. And I felt it was my burden. So I just removed myself. And I was missing that connection. And from that evening forward, I have found the path of clarity through all of the steps that we've taken. So find your path of clarity by trying these steps and really internalizing things. Um, I think you're going to actually win at this. Till the next one, take a walk, stay happy, and be positive.